Hey guys, Ben here with Upcountry Electric. We got a trouble call today. Transducer fault, basically a tank with a level sensor in it. Threw a fault over the weekend. Started showing 0 in the tank. Hopefully there's water in there. It's probably a sensor issue or something in the wiring for the sensor. We've been here before, about a year ago, and changed out the sensor for new. I'm hopeful that it's just a blown fuse. On the online monitoring, the feedback went from healthy to 0 instantly. So fingers crossed it's just a fuse issue and not something more major. I do have a brand new transducer with me if we do need to swap it out. If that's the case, I want to really be looking closely at why it failed after only a year. But yeah, we'll see when we get there and we'll figure it out. All right, see you there. All right, here we are. Let's have a look inside. There's 2 panels here. One's the old, one's the new. It says DC power okay. Battery looks a little aged. Here's our desiccant, our transducer. Transducer's landed right there. It'd be this fuse if it was blown. Yeah, let's check that fuse. Okay. Let's see this. Looks like it might be pop. It's really hard to tell. It's such a thin filament, but probes are good. All right. So it's not necessarily good news because what made it pop? If there is an issue, then we'll just pop the next one. So we've got 1/8 amp. Before I put a new one in, I'm just going to disconnect the transducer, test it with my Fluke 789 using my own 24 volts, just to see if I have a healthy signal from the transducer. If there's no healthy signal from the transducer, there's no sense in throwing in another fuse because it'll either pop again on overcurrent or a healthy fuse won't fix a broken transducer. So let's get the 789. We'll connect to these 2 wires here and we'll see what the transducer signal is. Okay, I got my Fluke 789. We're going to be using our own loop power. So we need to put our probes on common, or actually no, we're going to be using this source here. So we're going to put our negative there for source and our positive, where is he? There he is. So we're using loop power, we're using our own source power from this. We go positive, negative on there. And then I just need a little tweaker to get this guy disconnected. 13 and 27, nice and even. Put it on the door. So yeah, we're going to put our positive from our loop power on red and our negative on black. So this is just now a sensor and the 789, nothing else. Let's flip it over to loop power and see what it shows. Give this guy a whack. Is his battery's dead? His batteries must be dead. Okay, well, good thing I keep spare batteries on the truck. Okay, got some fresh batteries in here. It's all closed up, positive to positive. So we're doing source mode. We're going to put our positive on positive, our negative on negative for source. Flip them all the way over to loop power. 13 milliamps, 57%. It's holding pretty steady. I like that. So what I'm not seeing is a dead short, so that's a good sign. It is falling. I'd be surprised if the level in the tank is actually falling that much. So this is the actual value in milliamps in the loop circuit, and this is the percentage scale between 4 to 20. So right now it's just above halfway there. I believe we're on a 23-foot transducer. Essentially, 4 milliamps would be 0 feet, and 20 milliamps would be 23 feet. So we can do some quick math. We're looking at 54% of 23, so 23 times 0.54, about 12 feet of water in the tank. What would be good is to climb up and look inside the tank and see if that's how much water there is. Is it still falling slowly? You can see these numbers over there. No, it looks like a healthy reading to me. And it's holding. Picture of that. Yeah, I think we're good. I don't know what could have blew that fuse. I should check continuity between this red and the ground, the shield, because I've seen that before, where between the two wires everything's healthy and fine, but the cable itself or somewhere else is shorted to the shield or to earth. That'd be unfortunate. So let's look at that. So yeah, basically 55%. What did we say that was? Just a hair over 12 feet. Let me double check that. Yeah, 12.5 feet. About 12.5 feet of water should be in the tank. And then let's check this guy to earth and all these other things. Turn this off. Actually, this guy can do that. So we could just put him there. Go into continuity mode. Test our probes. He doesn't beep, but he does give an accurate reading. So then let's just put him on our shield. 169 ohms to positive. Negative 1.8 megohms. Boy, that 189. 170 ohms to positive does not look good. That is not good. That could be why it's popping. So that's some more napkin math to find out how much current that is. So we just do Ohm's law. We've got E divided by R equals I. Voltage, E equals I times R. Excuse me, it's the morning. E equals I times R, so E divided by R equals I. So voltage divided by resistance equals current. It's in there somewhere. So we've got 12 volts DC divided by 169 ohms. That is 0.071 amps. Man, that is not good. Tens, hundredths, so 7/100th of an amp. We were on an 8th amp fuse. It shouldn't have really popped it. Maybe with the milliamps. Yeah, so 0.071 is 71 milliamps on our 4 to 20 milliamp circuit. So that'll definitely pop that fuse. We could try it again and see if it pops it. The other alternative is removing the shield so that it doesn't short to the shield. to do. Got a few different paths I could take here. I think I'm going to connect to the PLC with my laptop, see what it's seeing live here, and then take the shield off and see if it maintains. I think it's just going to pop a fuse right away though, unfortunately, because of the short between the positive and the shield. Okay, we'll test that out. Alright, got the replacement fuse. Let's throw him in. Let's get this guy landed again. And I got the PLC connected to my laptop. I can see the raw value of the analog input now. Yeah, 20,000. It sure is bouncing a lot. There it goes. Now it's holding. 19,000. Not bad. Where do we got? Can we see the scaled level? Yeah, that's pretty high. And then if we disconnect the earth, still at about 20,000. 20,005. It's kind of holding there. Oh, it's scaled out at 34.6, not 21. So let's do that math again. 34.6 times 0.55 is 19 feet. Yeah, 18.2 feet, 19 feet. Okay. Yeah, I think it's accurate. And it is bouncing, but barely. I think I'm just going to leave that shield off for now, and we'll let the customer know that it could be on its way out. Okay, and then I want to climb up the tank and see for sure exactly how much water's in there. Each of these rings is 18 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 times 18, 288 inches divided by 12. So it's 24 feet tall. Should be about 6 feet of air from the top of the tank down to the water. Let's climb up and see. Alright. Looks like about 1, 2, 3, 4 rungs. That looks like about 6 feet to me. So I think we're good. Nice. Alright, so we got the transducer working again. I disconnected the shield so we don't get into that overcurrent scenario again. And then I'm just going to recommend to the customer that they be aware that the transducer is likely going to fail in the near future. Yeah, so we'll just make that recommendation, and who knows, it could last a while like this. The signal is stable even with the shield disconnected, so I'm not too worried about that. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.